Hey folks, thanks for joining me once again for yet another episode of Swill and Grog's Wonderful World of Beer. Well, today we're doing a taste comparison between Sapporo, that's brewed under license in Australia by Coopers, and the real Sapporo from Japan. So this one comes in a 355ml bottle that's been deep chilling for a wee while in the Swill and Grog beer fridge, and this one comes in a 350ml can. Alright, so actually I think this one is a twist top. Yep, okay, so we'll pour this one out into the tulip glass. Now this isn't going to be a blind taste test. I was considering that, but well, one, I couldn't find a blindfold, and two, I was afraid that blindfolded I may have knocked the beer over and ended this video production prematurely. Alright, so we'll pour out the can from Japan. Okay. Alright, I plonk that down. Actually, we'll put them back in their original configuration. Rightio, so let's have a look at the appearance. Well, comparing the appearance of both of them, the colours probably a little bit darker with the Australian brewed one. It's a little less effervescent. It's got, well, bigger bubbles streaming to the top of it, and the Japanese one is like a lighter, golden colour. Both are a little on the hazy side, but yeah, it's got really tiny bubbles streaming to the top. Yeah. Now the head dissipated a lot quicker on the Australian one, and the Japanese one had probably just a little over a finger of head when I poured it, and it's just gone to a fine ring now, but the head on the Australian one is just about vanished, in fact. So I've got to say, as far as just the appearance alone goes, the Japanese one looks more enticing. Yeah, I mean, those tiny bubbles, the effervescence it has, and the head retention seems to be a bit better. Anyway, let's move on to the aroma. Alright, well, I'm getting a sweet smell of grain there. Yeah. Not picking much else up. Probably a very faint grassy smell, perhaps, but yeah, you really have to reach for that. Let's take a whiff of the Japanese Sapporo. Yeah, it's a very subtle sort of, malt sort of aroma. Yeah, not, a terrible lot going on, but, just a very sort of faint smell of, white bread. Anyway, so we've talked about the appearance, and we've talked about the aroma for the two. So now it's time for the taste test. So let's try the Australian brewed one first. Alright, well, it definitely has a nice malt hit up front. Yeah, not really much bitterness to speak of. Maybe just a little bit in the finish. Yeah, but that, grainy, malty flavour lingers in the palate. The body, it's definitely on the light side. Even with it being, at the 5% mark. Yeah, I mean, they're both 5%, but I'm glad they didn't lower the ABV on this. I do have to commend Coopers on that, because often the Australian brewed version of a foreign beer will have a lower ABV, believe it or not. Yeah, so all in all, it's not too bad, but it does have, a somewhat watery sort of taste. It's, after taking another sip, it's sort of lacking that zing or zestiness that, you'd expect with a, Asian lager. Anyway, let's try the Japanese version now. Wow. They're really worlds apart, actually. This one has a real pronounced upfront, malt flavour that is very much distinguishable from the Australian brewed version. The carbonation in this one gives it a completely different mouthfeel. I mean, it certainly goes down smooth. It's very crisp, clean and refreshing, and it's a lot more drying than the Australian one. Let's just have another gulp. And unlike the Australian one, it really holds that taste profile. It doesn't have that, wateriness to it. Yeah, and it's got a very distinctive, taste about it that, like I said, it's very easy to, tell these two apart. Definitely a lot more maltiness in this one. Yeah. Wow, I didn't expect them to be that different, but wow, the difference is quite tremendous. Well, it's been interesting, doing this taste comparison. Wow, like they really, this one had, somewhat better like lacing and head retention. This one, it looks very flat now. Yeah. A little bit of carbonation still. Yeah, this one has it going on just a little bit more, but wow, it just has such a different mouthfeel, this Japanese one. Most definitely, it's the superior product here. What would I give them both in terms of a score out of 10? I think the Australian one, it's about a 6.5 out of 10. And the Japanese version, it's definitely not the best Japanese beer I've tasted, but it's good. If I could get a carton of that for a reasonable price here in Australia, I'd probably buy it on a regular basis. I'd probably give the Sapporo brewed in Japan an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, a much better beer. Yeah, they're worlds apart. Anyway, this has been quite interesting. Hopefully for you and me both. And I'll have to do it again someday. Anyway, that's it from me for now. I will return real soon with another review for you all. But until then, fare thee well, or